Hello Capricorn, welcome to your tarot card reading and astrological horoscope for November 2022. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jane, just to quickly introduce myself. So we are moving officially into November of 2022. October was an incredibly eventful month, and now that we are making a transition into November, after the eclipse on November 8th, things should start to sort of subside a little bit. Now for these readings, like we did last month, I have two different segments. The first segment is going to be a tarot card reading, which is purely intuitive, and the second segment is going to be an astrological horoscope. Thank you all so much for the amazing feedback that I received last month on those as well. And some people like to watch the astrology portion first. So if that's you, then you can absolutely click on that timestamp down below, and then you can go back and watch the tarot card portion after if you prefer. Now you can watch these readings for your sun, moon, or rising sign, although just know that the rising sign is going to be a little bit more accurate in terms of all the house placements of the transits. Timestamps for each segment will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below for easy access. And also down below in the description box and comment thread, there will be information regarding how to access the comprehensive readings. So let's go ahead and get into this for the month. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in just a sec. Hello Capricorn, welcome to the tarot card portion of your November 2022 reading. So let's go ahead here and take a look and see what comes through for you. I'm just going to start off with an intuitive message here. So we start off with, okay, this is just a deck that has a whole bunch of random things on it. So I'm feeling like I'm looking at that swirl, and it seems like things are going round and round and round again. Like you're not really able to escape or not able to find a way out, to find solutions, right? I know I talked a lot about finding solutions through Virgo season. Obviously, we're all the way in Scorpio season now at the beginning of November. But maybe you've struggled with finding a way. Either finding a way out or finding a way to make something happen, or finding something that you feel excited or passionate enough about to dedicate the needed time and energy, attention that it's going to require to make that thing grow. And you may be feeling torn in multiple directions and not really able to give your all to something. But I do think that that is coming to an end, that particular feeling is starting to wane. And as we make our way through Scorpio season and on into Sagittarius season, there are absolutely going to be opportunities for you to get, it's kind of like I'm hearing like you're sort of ticking into place. It's like gears that are moving very slowly, ticking into alignment. And I feel like that process is what has been going on, but now you're going to start to feel closer. And I'm not just trying to bait you like a carrot on a stick type of situation. I think that this is going to be taking time for everybody. And I think one of the reasons why is Saturn is just sort of slowing down. Mars is slowing down. And the previous few months was pretty chaotic, right? With all the mercurial energy that we had, and then even Libra season, which was requiring a lot of adjustments to be made. So it was like, well, nothing was really settled. But now we're moving into Scorpio energy, which is fixed energy. And things are going to start solidifying here, which is great, so that when we get into Sagittarius season and we start taking our bow and arrow and start pointing at a target, we're going to feel more confident that that is the right target to go after. Okay, so that energy is shifting. Now, for this month, I'm going to switch up the order that I'm doing this because I made a mistake with Scorpio, and I was like, well, let's just go ahead and keep it for this month, and that's fine. So we're going to pull out a major arcana card, which signifies what the universe needs from you this month, Capricorn. So what does the universe need from Capricorn as they go about their life in November 2022? Okay. Oh, beautiful. See, exactly, the Wheel of Fortune. And I'm wondering if Capricorn hasn't felt like on the downswing lately with the Wheel of Fortune. it was a very intense year, and we didn't start off very well with that Venus retrograde in Capricorn conjunct Pluto at the beginning part of 2022. It just simply wasn't like the best kickoff. And I don't know like if people really ever felt that ball started rolling. Now, some of you, yes, some of you may have had a fantastic year, and if you did, that's amazing. I'm happy for you. But if you didn't, you weren't alone. And things are starting to turn, all right? The energy is starting to loosen up. It's starting to ease. And I think you are going to have an opportunity here to probably revisit something that didn't work out in the past, right? This is the nature of a Mars retrograde. You're going to have the opportunity to revisit something that didn't work out very well in the past, but now you get to revive it and bring life back into it. Now, I don't mean toxic stuff. I'm not talking about going back to your toxic ex or your narcissistic ex and all of a sudden they're going to be this changed person. This is probably going to be a little bit more in the realm of work or friendships, all right? In terms of what you're doing and building and developing and innovating and inventing and creating and all that kind of stuff. And you get to do that for you. Okay, this is something that you have control over here. Now, what's going on in the environment? We're going to pull a court card here. So the Queen of Coins, excellent. Now, I am feeling a lot of separation from people right now. The first two readings that I've already done, Scorpio and Sagittarius, have both had the court card looking away from the reading, right? It's looking in that direction. And to me, it just kind of feels like people are going their own way. They're doing their own things. They're working on their own projects. And I think that's okay. You know, you have the South Node coming through that 11th house, which can be a challenging transit sometimes because it means that there may be some kind of decrease or loss or sacrifice or a skewed perspective on the groups that you are associated and affiliated with, and even some of your own investments that you've made. And so I think right now there is a reassessment going on, especially with the eclipse season, which is November 1st. We're like smack dab in the middle of eclipse season. It's really enabling people to figure out like what works and what doesn't, and who's in their corner and who's not, and who can they trust and who shouldn't they trust. And while I love a Queen of Coins, and this is in fact the card of Capricorn, I do think that there is going to be a person or a group of people that you're going to start to realize is just not a very good fit. And while you don't necessarily wish them any harm, of course you wish them luck and all the love and success that they deserve, but there may be a situation where you say, okay, like we need to separate. Like we can't, like we're just on different tracks. And I think that's all. It's just as simple as that. You're just on different tracks. That's it. And the paths that you're on are not necessarily compatible. And as long as you're both in agreement, which I think to a degree you will be, it will all work out okay, especially with that Wheel of Fortune. I think Wheel of Fortune is saying, Capricorn, now is a great time to be very optimistic. Okay, especially as we leave eclipse season on November 8th and the moon wanes and it makes its way into that new moon in Sagittarius. That new moon in Sagittarius is happening at 1 degree of Sagittarius at, on the 23rd of November. Okay. All right, Capricorn. What else? Let's see. Start pulling out the 9 card blocks. So we have the 2 of Coins, 7 of Coins, okay, I also feel like that one wants to come out. 5 of Coins. Okay, so with the 2 of Coins, I'm getting a strong this or that. But there is some kind of a choice. Like you can't have both of something. It may have to do with the Queen of Coins. You can't have something growing and something pulling you back at the same time. Otherwise, you just end up right where you started. Or the thing that's growing may be hindered and you end up losing in the long run. Okay, so it's like this or that. You can only have this or that. And because we just came out, now I'm doing this reading for November 1st, but there's a strong likelihood I'll publish it before that. So let's just quickly remind ourselves, right? We have that new moon eclipse in Scorpio on October 25th, and that eclipse is going to be associated with the South Node. And South Node and Scorpio are both highly destructive, and there can be an element of sacrifice and loss with both of these things. So it's not an easy set of eclipses by any stretch of the imagination. All right? So if you are having to give up one thing for the sake of the other, that means, and I love this Seven of Coins because there is a suggestion of growth. And now sometimes we can say this is about balance, but right now with that Wheel of Fortune, I'm feeling like things are turning over. And usually when things turn over, things have to fall off. Things are gained and things fall off. And then I'm also seeing with this Five of Coins as well, that there is something, I don't know, there's some kind of a feeling of being cast out. I'll come back to that in just a second because that just took me on a whole new mental thread. But I want to talk about this Page of Coins first. The Page of Coins, I think, is coming into your life slowly, methodically, as a result of this growth, which is a result of the wheel turning over. Okay, the Seven of Coins is about slow, and yet there's a lot of power with that Seven of Coins, though. It's not without work and effort. All right, it takes a lot of energy for a plant to grow. In fact, it's actually so much power that a human can't even really comprehend what it takes for that seedling to break through the ground, and then for that seedling to continue to maintain life to the point where it can actually bear fruit, right? There's a tremendous amount of energy, a tremendous amount of power and dedication that is required for that. But because you are dedicated, as I mentioned, right, you're coming out of a period of wavering and kind of being trapped in this silo. It's interesting that we got this with the wheel and then we have the Wheel of Fortune. I didn't even make that connection until right now. But clearly you've been in this spinning process for quite some time. But the Page of Coins, I think, is a subtle marker that you are coming to the end of the spinning, and you are coming into a place where you are establishing a greater level of stability in your life. And it may come at a price. It may not be easy, right? And I know Capricorn, it hasn't been easy since 2008. Now, you've had good things happen. I'm not saying it's all been bad. I know a couple of Capricorns that got married, right? And they had families and they're super happy, but then they may have had struggles in different areas of their life. So it's a balance of both. Now, the energy of being cast out, and kind of seeing this woman with a cut on her hand, she's over looking at the palace with the coins over there. It's like she's not a part of that. She's on the outside looking in. And maybe that's one of the reasons why you're needing to separate here, is because this connection, whatever it might be, and again, this is a good person. And I don't want to sit here and trash talk them because I see nothing bad about them. It's just when your path and their path becomes incompatible, it's very hard to reconcile. It's very hard to reestablish trust. Now, for some of you, this may be a spouse or a significant other. And I'm not saying all of you are breaking up, okay? I just want you to know that. But you may need to go your own ways. You may need to focus on your own goals for now and then try to reconvene later. And maybe your process of self-development and their process of self-development may actually turn around, right? And you may come back together closer and more in love than ever before. That there could be a rekindling or a reestablishing of the promises that you made with one another. All right? But I do think this moment of independence is important. As the sun comes through Scorpio, as it comes through Sagittarius, that is 11th and 12th house activation for Capricorn, it is really common for us to go through a detached feeling during these times. And you've got eclipses in there, so it's even that much more pronounced. So when you need to detach and you need your space and you need your time, it's not always because something is terrible and bad. Sometimes it's just what you need in order to get your head back in the game later on and come back at it full force. And there is an energy of like being full force here right now. There's somewhere you want to be, and I feel like you have goals. This could be you looking at people who are wealthier than you and be like, how do I get to be a part of that club? Right? How do I get to be a part of that group of people, or people who are more talented or more in love or more whatever it is? Now, this is not comparison for the sake of self-punishment and shame. This is comparison for inspiration. Because when you're on the outside looking in, there can be a desire that gets instilled, right? Because when you see that over there, your perception, your eyeballs, and the way your brain transmits that information creates a desire. I want that thing. And that's a beautiful thing. And I think in a lot of ways, that's how our soul communicates with us. So the desire here isn't bad. And it's going to enable greater degrees of character development in order for you to become the person that you need to be in order to get there. Okay, so let's see. We have the King of Cups and we have the Three of Swords. Yes, so when I was talking about maybe a sacrifice, Two of Coins, instead of a balancing of both things, there's more of a focus on a single or few things, meaning other things are going to need to drop off. And yes, there may be disappointment that ensues. And I think this is, I'm not going to say that this is the cost or the price you have to pay. I think that's a little too, you know, Little Mermaid energy, right? Like there's this price you have to pay. I don't know that it's that the case. I just think that this is more an effect. It's an effect. It's what happens when we focus. It's what happens when we prioritize. It's what happens when we, when we drudge up this quality of determination. Now, one of the reasons why I think determination is so strong for Scorpio right now, not Scorpio, I'm sorry. I was thinking we're Scorpio season, but for Capricorn right now is because Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio, is now going direct. And he is now officially making his way into Aquarius, which is the first time he's been there in like 250 years, right? So this is a huge deal. And I think Pluto is starting to ask Capricorn to really close out a lot of these open ends that you have. And maybe you've had them as open ends because you couldn't bring yourself to close them. You weren't able to close those doors. You weren't able to say what you needed to say. You weren't able to break the pattern, or you weren't willing quite yet because maybe you didn't want to cause anyone a Three of Swords, and you didn't want to endure yourself a Three of Swords. But I think with the King of Cups coming out in the very center of the reading, now he's got a heart on his with the crown, and then here we have the heart with the swords. So the heart is definitely at play here, and I don't know that right now is the most intellectual time. This is a time of just knowing what you need to do. And sometimes the decision can be really, really, really simple, but the execution is extraordinarily challenging, right? Because the fallout of it can affect more than just you, right? I think in this particular instance, it's not just about you. And that's why probably things have drug on. That's why you've been in this circle, this swirl, going and going and going and going, because other people were involved. And one thing that I know for sure about Capricorn is that they don't let go until they know for sure that they can't hold on anymore. And I think that's what's happening is you're coming to that point and you're saying, I can't hang on. It's like your grip muscles are giving out. Like you're like, there's only so much will that you have to keep something alive if it doesn't really want to be alive. And in Scorpio season, we know this is the ruler of death. And we know for you, 11th house, there's a lot of radical change that can occur here. And death can also mean an egoic death, and it can also mean the end of something. But it is for the sake of the rebirth of something else. Okay, it's for the sake of rebirth for something else. See, 9 of coins, exactly. This power that you're exerting here, it's not for nothing. You're actually getting somewhere, right? Wheel of Fortune is like very clear about that as well. Like this is not just leading nowhere. It's getting you to increase levels of wealth, increased levels of connection, increased levels of prominence and reward and recognition and all of those things. See the Tower. A Tower with the 3 of Swords. Let's see what else. Last card for Capricorn. And Temperance. I love Temperance. I'm so glad it came out. Because it is signifying, first of all, there's kind of like that Illuminati eye, right? What's the eye is here, the eye is here. We know that that eye, as much as, you know, it is associated with symbols of like the Illuminati, it's also connected with the third eye, meaning the third eye chakra. They kind of stole that, I think, stole it and made it something sinister. But, you know, that third eye, the all-knowing, and the connection that we have with the all-knowingness. And I love that there's a crown here with the heart as well, with the eye, because it does signify a third eye, crown chakra, heart chakra connection, meaning there's like upper chakra alignment, which means there is no question. And when there is no question, there is balance and a lot of alchemy as well. With the Tower and the three of Swords, it does seem to me that you are going to be alchemizing and transmuting, i.e. converting, or you're converting not so great situations into something that is going to be the best for everybody involved. By no means does this reprioritization thing that's happening here, by no means does this lead somewhere bad. All right. And I think sometimes we make these decisions and then we get a Tower moment and we sort of have a pushback and then we start to question. And if we start to question and go backwards, that is like a very common form of self-sabotage. It's like, oh my gosh, I did this thing and the fallout was terrible. That must mean I made a mistake. Very, very rarely do we look at the fallout as being a positive and an intended effect of where we wanted to go. That's really hard for people to wrap their head around because it's sometimes unwanted, right? We have unwanted consequences. But just because something is unwanted does not mean that it is bad and does not mean that it is not the best. Little book, Zen and the Art of Happiness, right? It's like, if you can look at everything that happens as being the best possible thing that could have happened, you'll never have any problems. Okay, you'll never have any problems. All right, let's go ahead and pull out some clarifiers. Now, instead of doing my whole little spiel, which I normally do, I just put all the information in the description box in the comment thread down below. So if you want to watch the rest of this video where we talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about the cards I'm about to pull out, you can access that down below. Just make sure that you read the descriptions of each of the links that I provide, okay? All right, so we got this deck here and we got this deck here. All right, so let's go ahead and clarify, all right, the Wheel of Fortune, starting with the Magician. And then we have, another Two of Coins. One gives way to the other. And we know that we have been approaching this ending for a long time. And it's not officially over. I know that Pluto will come back into Capricorn in 2023. So I'm not saying this is final, end all, be all. I think the real finality will be in 2024 when Pluto comes back into Aquarius. That's when it will never, ever enter into Capricorn ever again in your life, right? It's over. It's over and done with. Oh, whoops, hold on. I forgot to pull out for the other side. But this is still like exciting as Pluto builds up to his first touchdown in Aquarian grounds for the first time in 250 years. So this chapter is closing. This era is ending. We're preparing ourselves for a completely new way of life. So we have 5 of Wands reversed. We have another Temperance card in the environment. Feels like someone is not, also another 7 of coins. Yeah, see, this is someone that's just not ready or willing to keep fighting. And they're not willing to put in the work, you know? And I think everyone is okay. Like if this person needs to go their own way, everyone's going to be okay with that. Everybody, you'll be okay with it. They'll be okay with it. And I think you'll just each feel like this is just the best scenario. The best for everyone. So please don't feel badly about it. Everyone's going to end up happier. All right? I don't know why I'm not, I don't know, my mind is like not focusing right now. Okay, so here we have, let's go here. We have the 2 of coins, we have the Magician, we have the Page of Swords. Okay, yeah, I guess I'm not in my comprehensive. I guess I shouldn't be saying that much yet. Let's go ahead and pull out the clarifiers for the 2 of coins. Okay, so we have the 2 of Wands, another Page of Coins, matching that right there. 3 of Coins, excellent. Now for the 7 of Coins, see the Devil reversed. It's a lot of work for sure. Queen of Swords reversed. And the Hermit. For the Page of Coins, Fool reversed. Another page. Really liking the pages. We got the Page of Swords over here as well. 2 of Cups. Nine of Cups. 6 of Coins reversed. Well, 9 of Cups is good. That's the wishes coming true card. Justice. Ace of Cups reversed. Knight of Cups reversed. Another wheel. Right on top of that 3 of Swords. This is what I mean. It's the best possible thing that could have happened. Just because it's unwanted doesn't mean you won't understand how it's going to connect later on. 4 of Cups. 2 of Swords. Knight of Wands. Another Page of Swords. 8 of Cups. 6 of, oh, another 9 of Coins. Well, not another, but we got the 9 of Cups. Well, I mean, actually, yeah, another. We got 9 of, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. 9 of Coins, 9 card block. Okay, and then we have the World card. Final card. All right, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So again, all the information in the description box in the comment thread down below if you want to join me. Thank you all so much. You guys know how much I love and adore you. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to the Astrological Horoscope for November 2022. So let's go ahead and delve right in. So I have this clock set for November 1st, but I just wanted to remind you that on October 25th, we actually had a lot of stuff happen in that last week of October. October 25th, we had the new moon eclipse in Scorpio at 2 degrees. Hold on, I made my little notes here. We also had Jupiter coming back into Pisces. We had Mercury coming into Scorpio, and we had Mars retrograde begin on October 30th. All right, so there was just October was just a hugely eventful month. So technically speaking, we are in the middle of eclipse season as we enter November. All right, here's the sun now, November 1st, in your 11th house, along with Venus and Mercury. All right, now 11th house is kind of an interesting house. Unless you have really malefic planets here, this is actually a really great house. A lot of fun and amazing stuff happens in both the 11th and the 5th houses, and often the 9th house as well, first house too. So I mean, these are like high quality, exciting houses. And so you may have a new friendship, a new partnership, a new association, or a desire to kind of gravitate toward a new group of people. And often these people are truly the support systems for extremely successful, we can call it career paths, but it doesn't necessarily have to be your career, but it kind of has to do with like your path in life. So if that's a spiritual path, if that's a path of healing, like whatever it is, these people that I think are starting to come on board in your life, it's likely to lead you somewhere great. Now, the thing with this Scorpio new moon eclipse, though, is that it really is more about destruction or deconstruction, okay? Meaning we have to deconstruct certain aspects that need to die off, all right? And sometimes that can be hard, especially when we're talking about people, and talking about friendships and relationships. But I think that it's pretty obvious for those that need it. I'm not saying all of you need it, but I think it is pretty obvious that there may be certain connections in your life that you just simply cannot allow these to continue because they hinder you. They drain too much energy. They're too exhausting, okay? And that those particular connections are needing to be left behind for the sake of new growth. Really, the message for this eclipse in Scorpio is creation through the process of elimination. Okay, it's not like creation by going and taking action and doing all this new stuff. We have to clear the path and remove the obstructions. All right. Now, later on, now Venus and Mercury are going to move into Sagittarius on the 16th and 17th respectively, and then the Sun is going to move into Sagittarius on the 22nd. So there is likely to be a period of time when Sagittarius season begins near the end of November where you feel like you are really going to need to just kind of shut the world off a little bit. You know, you probably are going to need to regroup after these eclipses. You're going to need to like reset the target. And I think Sagittarius season is a fantastic time for reanalyzing your goals. And I get very excited about that because we know that the Sagittarius, right, the archer, right, the hunter with the bow and arrow, that's Sagittarius. So you get to decide where you're going to point that arrow. All right. And for Capricorn being a cardinal sign, this is an excellent time of preparation for you because you like to go, right? And all my Capricorns, I know it's like when they set their mind to something and when they have a goal that they want to attain and that they feel that passion about, they can just freaking take off. But sometimes Capricorn, because there is still a very mystical element to Capricorn as well, because of that mystical and magical aspect of Capricorn, sometimes it can be hard to drudge up the enthusiasm to really go towards something. So this is, I think, a time when that is actually going to happen for you because of the intensity of the full moon eclipse, specifically in your 5th house, which is the house of creation. All right. So when we say creation, this can mean so many things. It can mean actual creative things like painting and sculpting, but it could also be how you are creative in your corporate job, if you have that, or if you work with numbers, or if you work with technology, like whatever it is, to be creative in developments and innovative, inventive even. And it's almost as though Capricorn is likely to receive some kind of a brilliant insight that will help them in the long run. And it may come from your group of people, right? It may come from the people with whom you surround yourself. So be very selective regarding who you are spending time with the people that you are exposing and being vulnerable with. All right. When I say exposing, I mean, I don't mean anything but perverted. I mean, like, exposing your rawness, your vulnerability, and your desires and your wants, okay? Because this full moon eclipse is actually happening like right on top of Uranus. So that's an incredibly, it's strong, it's potent. So when we talk about change, I mean, I don't know that I could use that word in a way that truly or effectively conveys how much change is really going to happen, all right? And it may not happen on that day. It may not even happen building up to it, but I think it earmarks over the next couple of months as we make our way to the next eclipse season, between now and next spring. A lot of stuff is happening next spring. All eyes on March for now, for me. March, April, May, extraordinarily powerful months for us. I think we're getting a little bit of a break in between, which will be really nice, because we get to carry out all of the things that we set in motion, like between Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio seasons, okay? But for you, creation is important. There could also be something for many of you happening with your children. So it may not happen with you specifically, but it may happen with your lineage, the generations that follow. You may also have some interesting connections. If any of you are interested in history or genealogy, there could be some interesting connections being made with that as well. And I know those are kind of random things. There could be some, like if any of you play sports too, there could be some, just be careful, okay? I wouldn't be too roughhouse during the days building up to that eclipse. When it kind of starts to wane off, the next like week or so, you're fine, but just take precautions, all right? Because Uranus can have extremely random effects. And as soon as we're coming off of that eclipse, then the moon is going to hit into Mars. So there could just be some interesting stuff. If you're concerned about health at all, even though technically this is the 5th house, Mars being in the 6th could have provide some challenges with health problems. And with the moon coming off of an eclipse, it could kind of agitate that even a little bit more. So, health-wise, I do think Capricorn is being asked with this Mars retrograde to really pay attention. All right, to pay attention to how things truly affect your body. This may be an excellent time for a purification process. All right, now take care, pay attention to your own conditions if you have them. Not everybody here does, but if you do have any conditions that you're concerned about, I'm not telling you to go fast for 3 days and starve yourself if that's not something that you can do. Talk to your doctors, your practitioners, your people. if that is something that you want to do, paying attention specifically to diet and water intake. And because Gemini is involved, I absolutely think, anything to calm your nervous system will be really important as well. Getting fresh air, connecting with nature, absolutely all those wonderful things. We love those things. So, but diet, especially important here, especially because Taurus is very much about food, so you can design your own program, but we're just saying, okay, just saying. You may have really experienced with this Mars in the 6th, not only health stuff, but there could have been difficult adversarial people in your life too. Mars in the 6th is a challenging placement, and unfortunately he's been here for he'll be here for like 7 months total. So it's not something you can easily just, it's just a couple months and then it moves on. You're gonna have to deal with these difficult people if in fact you do have them in your life. Of course, not everyone does, but people are, I don't know what it is. Are they wanting something from you? Are they angry that you're succeeding? Are they angry at your creativity? Are they angry at your popularity or your fame or whatever? Angry that you're getting recognition and they're not, that kind of thing. There could certainly be something coming through with that. With Pluto moving though, like Pluto officially went direct in October, on October 8th. So he's been going direct now for a while. Saturn started going direct on October 23rd. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember the dates off the top of my head. So as of November, they're moving forward. So we're starting to feel things starting to align a little bit more. And for you, Capricorn, we know how heavy Pluto has been in your sign. First of all, we've all felt it to a degree, but no one has felt it the way you have. I'd say you in Cancer probably got it the most. We can tell that a new era in our life is starting to come online. Now, Pluto coming through the 2nd house is not an easy transit either. However, at least there's no feeling lost in terms of who you are. Because when Pluto comes through that 1st house, not only can there be health problems, yes, absolutely, since the 1st house does rule the body, but there can also be many iterations of self. And sometimes when we go through so many reinventions of ourselves, it's like, well, who am I even really? And we're trying to attach ourselves to an identity, but Pluto really won't let us because he forces authenticity. And unfortunately, authenticity, while it's great, it doesn't really mean anything, right? Because our personalities are not necessarily who we are. And so I feel like Capricorn has experimented with many masks only to discover that none of them fit. Right. And so you've had to get more and more and more real. Now, that's a good thing ultimately, because you are truly you at this point. I wouldn't say that there are any fake Capricorns out there after this transit. There's no superficial Capricorns walking around, especially the ones that are willingly doing the healing and the spiritual work. They're just kind of who they are, and they're living a much more real and raw and authentic life. And as that transition begins to happen, or has already begun between October and March, over the next several months here, we're going to start to feel a lift slowly, very slowly, probably not perceivable, but it is going to be a lift nonetheless. And then we have Saturn preparing right now. Saturn is going direct, and he's also preparing to move signs next March, right? All eyes on next March. But financially, and in terms of any blockages or any problems that you've had regarding your own sense of self-worth, which is often intrinsically linked with that identity as well, that's going to start clearing up too. Okay, so you are kind of finding it really is going to be a new approach to living your life. new rules, which Uranus is demanding of us right now, new rules, new people, new structures, new pathways with fewer obstructions in the areas that really matter, self and money. Those are really important things that we contend with, right? These are not like whatever houses. These are really, really important houses in terms of our survival in this world. So you are getting a true refresh here. Now, at the end of October, Jupiter did come into this third house, dipped back into Pisces. November 23rd, he's going to move into Aries again, and then he'll be in Aries until May when he moves into Taurus. I think it's May 16th, if I have that date remembered properly. And so Jupiter is really kind of hanging out at that last degree throughout a significant portion of November, slowing way down, affording us that opportunity. He's kind of really supportive of the elimination quality of Scorpio, because of course Pisces is also about loss and surrender and that kind of thing. And so we have that chance and the astrological support saying abundance, Jupiter, right? Abundance will come through elimination, okay? And with the third house activation as well, there could be some emphasis on your siblings and your family, your home life. There could be some emphasis on your perspective as well, having a much higher level perspective, which Pluto through your sign, I don't know how that could be anything but, right? It's kind of interesting. You know, not everyone goes through a Pluto conjunction like that. Like, I'm not going to go through that in my lifetime. Like, that's like just like time wise, it's not possible. So it's just kind of an interesting situation that you're in. It is somewhat unique. It is somewhat unique to go. Now I'll go through an opposition later on in life, but I won't go through a conjunction. So anyway, just kind of is a whole big thing. And Jupiter here offering you that perspective and offering you a chance to see the good, really, I think, to see the good in all of that, you know? And that'll be helpful to be able to see the good during these eclipses, okay? All right, Capricorn. So I'm going to leave you with that. You guys know I love and adore you. Hope you have an amazing November, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.